started here shortly. We'll do some angel cards. And we'll go ahead and do some tarot as well, okay? So chillax with me. La 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 la. What is that? Come with me. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to do a hard shuffle on the angel cards because they're angel cards. Like, anyone's good to go. That's what people worry about tarot, like, so much. Like, if you get a card that you think is negative, like, there's a negative and a positive for every card. They're uprights and reversals, right? But the thing is, collective, if you're getting one of these so-called negative cards, look at it as a warning, potentially. Or just to say, like, hey, you might want to keep on about this. Pay attention next time so-and-so is talking to you. You think they're telling you the truth? Encouraging you to use your discernment. That's what your guides and angels want you to do. It's all the other people out there that get all mad when you don't do what they want, right? Melchizedek, yeah. Spiritual development. So, collective, you could be on a path of spiritual development that others are not at this time, okay? So that might take you on some spiritual journeys, a pilgrimage, even. I can't remember where it was, but when I was with some of my relatives, they were talking about somebody that was doing, like, they started doing, like, pilgrimage trips, organizing pilgrimage trips, as part of their work, So, especially if you're somebody who is, like, wants to have a faith-based career, a spiritual-based career, a purpose-based career, think of it in those kind of terms, right? But like maybe you're trained as an accountant. Well, maybe you want to go somewhere that doesn't charge people an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? Or maybe you want to go work at like a business development center or something, okay? And that could give you spiritual development, teaching others what you know. All right, 23 is also, representative of Michael Jordan's number, one of the greatest of all time. Okay. They really didn't start worrying about, Babe Ruth, they threw that around and stuff too, but Jordan, he could have played more than one sport as well. Whereas Babe Ruth was not in the kind of physical shape that some of these other ball players are in. I'm just going to say. All right. Like, I'm not trying to be, whatever, play favorites here. I'm just stating the facts. And the fact is, we got number 23 on the board right now. So who you think of? I think of MJ. Okay? So, when you're thinking of being like Mike, what does that mean? Huh? That means having your gym bag packed and ready so your mom don't have to fucking nag you on your way out the door if you got all your sports clothes for your practice after school. Okay? You think Michael Jordan's mother had to chase him around? Michael, where's your shoes? Michael, where's your coat? No, I don't think so. I think he was a little more motivated and wanted to learn how to be the best ball player he could be. So, what's on your path, collective? What's on your spiritual greatness path? Right? Maybe it's not athleticism. Maybe it's some other kind of skill that you have, using your brain, as most of us do, using our brains to make money, right? Archangel Azrael, death and rebirth. Okay, so that scorpionic energy, a bit, but number 14 is also goes with Sagittarius and the tarot. So, but here saying life changes. So yeah, in order to become that great thing, that you want to, you might have to have some life changes. Shocking, I know, right? It's blowing your mind, isn't it? Oh my God, the tarot lady, she's hypnotizing me over there with all her tactics. Right. Well, brother so and so said on Sunday that he's starting this new keto diet. But I don't give a fuck what brother so and so is doing. All right? If keto works for you and your doctor, go for it. But again, life changes is what it requires. Huh? Huh? Your life changes might not jive with the life changes that somebody else makes. And the thing is, collective, a lot of those people, they don't want to make those changes. Okay, so their path to greatness may not be on your path at all. And that's something to realize as you go through life, and to not feel regretful. Don't feel remorse. Don't feel guilty. A lot of us raised in that religious attitude have not necessarily been taught discernment over our lives, and then we let some of that emotional yuck take us over, and then we start worrying way too much about other people's spiritual health and not even our own, right? And then we become just like those people in the church that we don't like, because they're all pointing their fingers. You'll see the last title of the video, I was like, pointing my fingers. There was a skit on SNL, and it was just like Mick Jagger's birthday, so I had to throw that in the title there as a little nod to Mick. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, collective, you can point your fingers, right? Mom didn't put my shoes in here. I didn't do this. Blah, blah, blah. What's your path to greatness? What kind of MJ are you trying to beat? Melchizedek Jr. here, or, Junior that's getting hauled off by the police, I mean, it's up to you. There's a lot of people that grow up in poverty and things of this nature that don't steal, that don't make a habit of stealing. I'm just saying. There's a lot of people out there that have been abused, have been beaten, have been, taken advantage of. They don't turn around and go do those things to other people. That is not what makes someone righteous, the ability to do that. That's fucking ignorant as fuck. I'm sorry if that's who your friends are, because that means they're ignorant too. So, that's why some folks stay to themselves, collective, because they don't want to put up with that kind of shit. And instead of having to tell somebody off to their face, right? It's just a lot more comfortable living in reality. Isn't it? Again, requiring life changes. You're not going to be going and doing the same shit that you've always fucking done. Are you? If you want to be great, if you want to get to that next level on your path. And again, you're going to be told from a higher power. Okay? It'll come to you in a vision. It'll come to you in a dream. Maybe you'll be reading the goddamn Bible and some word will jump out on the page on you and you'll be like, well, I'll be. Okay, however it takes form for you, I'm a spiritualist in that sense. Okay? Because I've been on the other side of the planet. And they got the same kind of problems we do. Right? People not respecting the earth. People not respecting each other. People trying to take advantage because somebody has this and they don't. But yet they're working so hard at what? Right? Life changes. This is what I'm saying. Some of these these career criminals, and you think all the efforts they go through for this and that, and it's like, man, If you would have put an ounce, right, of all that effort into something, productive, it's like maybe we wouldn't be sitting here in court today, sir or ma'am. Now, last time I checked, that doesn't take rocket science, but for some people collective, if they haven't made those life changes, that's exactly where they end up. Have you ever seen those movies where the characters are all like, "Oh, most of my friends are either dead or in jail"? Yeah, because they was doing the fuck shit. And they're like, "Oh, well, just sounds awesome." There's getting away with it, and then there's being stupid and repeating things. As I've said before, it's a choice. It's a choice. Some people don't want to heal. Some people don't. Okay, but it's not your job to make them see the light after that. After they already took you through the ringer of their downfall, right? And you were like, look, Dante's Inferno, I won't know. I know how many more rings and layers of hell are there here. I'm not doing that with you because I already went and did that my own self on my own journey, right? And that's why you are the goat collective. Okay, they're wondering how do I become the goat? Well, you gotta do it. Well, no, not gonna happen, right? Because they're not willing to do it. I was just reminded of this today. It was very random. Again, I brought it up before in reading. Somebody I know that is very into. They do like actual fitness competitions and stuff. So muscle sculpting is like their goal in the gym. And someone's like, "Oh, how do I get these same muscles that you got?" Blah blah. And they're like, "Well, if you want them, you can talk about it, but why don't you, follow me around for a workout and see if you can hang, right? Because that's going to be what it takes." Now, how many people are out there doing that, collective? You do the math. Okay. Some of them already dropped off this reading because they got irritated that somebody was telling them something. Because God forbid it's coming from, I don't know, somebody that doesn't look like them. Somebody that doesn't live in their community. Somebody they haven't known since the fucking first goddamn fucking motherfucking grade. Right? Well, you know what? I know a lot of relatives for about that long too, but guess what? I'm not calling all of them up because I don't trust some of them motherfuckers that I've known that long. Okay? And I think some other people collective out here are finally waking up to that truth. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide forever. After a while, the shit just starts to be stinking. Alright? I'm not, saying, older dudes can't have fun too, but last thing you want to be doing is causing extra hospital visits. I mean, I don't know. But hey, that's just me. I personally, I don't like a hospital that much. I'm more of a field type person. I like the great outdoors. Archangel Michael. Yay! Everybody's favorite badass. Right? Alright. Clarity. Truth and protection. Yes, we pray to Archangel Michael to defend us. In battle from the snares of who? The devil. You ever see that one collective? It was Mike Myers and Kim Basinger in that skit. He's the hypo. And he looked at her. She's like, "Do you want some of my candy?" He's like, "You're the devil. I'm not supposed to have candy." She's like, "Why not?" He's like, "I'm hyperactive and hypoglycemic." That was one of my favorite skits on SNL during that time. I think when I saw that, I was like laughing so hard I was crying, by the end of it. Anyway, so yeah, collective, maybe you need a little bit of a giggle. Right? All these people that think they want to come and play, right? And you're like, look, I'm playing just fine over here watching Comedy Central or whatever, Netflix special, or maybe you're actually going out to see some comedy or something too, collective. It could be. Don't let suggestions limit your imagination. That's again what the karmics want for you. That's not what we encourage here. We encourage active development of your mind and brain. Okay? Yeah, and that's what happens. Ten of Pentacles. Anyone? Ching. I'll take it. Right? You got payday coming up, collective. What are you going to be spending that money on? Right? What's plans you got for that money? Okay? Ten of Pentacles means it's a flowing, right? But you still got to manage it wisely, right? You can't be going out with, so-and-so that's always got their hand out like this and don't know how to create anything, on behalf of, your household. That ain't gonna work. Especially people that are not in any, marital or legal obligations, right? Right? Yeah, well, everybody's got problems, right? What we say. I'm hearing them now. I'm telling you. There are going to be some jealous Nellies, but, it's just part of the game. That's just part of the game. And here's the thing too, collective. It's like some of these people, they'd be so mad that you have anything in your pocket, but it's like, oh well, but when it's time to go and spend some of that money, you best believe they would like it if you spend it at their business, right? So how have they treated you in the past? Yeah, exactly, right? So time will tell, right? Eight of Cups. Yeah, collective, you might be separating yourself from wherever that has been. That could be part of this life changes. Again, doing things that you weren't always doing before, right? Going places that you haven't been before, right? So I feel like you've already taken steps towards this, okay? And if you hadn't, you wouldn't have this Ten of Pentacles right here. So it's kind of like self-evident at this point. You're marching and you're not stopping. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles, somebody wanted to kind of take some of this fort from you. Yeah, Ten of Cups overall energy on the bottom. And you're like, so for some of you, you might be like doing it for a family. You might be doing it, maybe you're a single parent. Maybe you're doing it for extended. Maybe you're just doing it for your dog. Maybe you're doing it for your folks. Some people need that to be part of their purpose, right? And that's okay. That kind of happiness and whatever kind of happiness you desire out of life, right? You don't. I think the message there, collective, is as you're getting this, you don't have to keep it from the ones that you love. Just make sure the ones that you love are actually loving and supporting you, right? And not trying to waste away your abundance. Okay. I'm sure a lot of us over the years have experienced family members, right, who just can't seem to get it together, right? And it's just like, oh, it's always just that next $50 or that next $100 or that next $1,000, right? That they're trying to squeeze out of somebody, right? I mean, you got to ask yourself, collective, when do you call mercy on for yourself? When you're like, look, man, I might have $1,000, but that's still $1,000. And I don't know about you, but out there in the real world, $1,000 goes pretty quick, especially if you got bills to pay. So, again, when are you calling mercy? Right? So, this transmutation, this could just be you saying no to all these requests, right? And, let them have their little fit. What are they going to do? Come over and steal it out of your fucking pocket? Because what I see you investing in collective is paying you back here with this Ten of Pentacles, like Mike. See, they're wanting to be like you, man. I'm just saying. And then you got Michael the Archangel. Like kind of like to meet some people like in a non like bar like say or whatever, and like already I had to block somebody. I'm just like, okay, number one, what you just suggested is not what you said that you were looking for. And number two, no, my name isn't so and so, and no, we have not met before. No, I have not been over to your place before. And who the fuck are you even talking to somebody like that as a stranger on the internet? Like what? Blocked. Don't have time for it. It was like literally, it's like, okay, 20 minutes and literally has to be a waste of time. Right? Nine of Swords. Yeah, let them think about it. Like, I'm not doing that so that I can lose this. Do you know what I'm saying? Some people be keeping you busy, distracted, and worrying about their mess when really you're fine and you be getting this, right? So what you need to be worried about them for, right? This is when the power of prayer like really kicks in, and I think this is why Archangel Michael came up. Okay, you know, some people be like, I don't pray, I don't want to pray, blah, blah, blah. Well, some people put out good vibes, all right, positive incarnations into the universe. Can you do it? Can you do it? Do you understand what optimism is? Look it up in the dictionary. Have a go. Somebody could have Earth sign in their chart: Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We got Virgo coming up again after Leo season. So, collective, you could end up being more work focused. People would be like, "Where you been at? Where you been?" Like, some of your introspection might just be like in your office. You might get away for like to get a fresh perspective on some things, but yeah. This is I feel like other people noticing this absence, whereas they see you as this kind of light figure, you know what I mean? And the thing is, you're not, your life change has taken your light other places. So when other people are thinking of you, like they might kind of feel like in a darkness a little bit right now. Okay? But again, that's your job to transmute that and just be like, okay, well, what one person on the bit said something like, I haven't seen you around, and I thought, well, when's the last time they invited me anywhere? Right? Like, well, I don't know. You're supposedly the cool person in this situation, I guess. So, right? I guess you failed as town crier. I mean, like, so any of that kind of stuff, collective. You got your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. And don't tell me there's not opportunity, because I see people putting their businesses up for sale all the time because they got other things going on. You know. And sometimes I see that and I'm like, why? They don't want to make money, but maybe some people are just tired. I get it. I don't take every single booking that comes through. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta pace yourself, right? So the same as with these readings, the energy pulls on me, and yeah, I get downloads and stuff, but you know, I can't spend my whole day doing readings. I gotta channel what's actually really important for the collective, right? Let's get some more conversations out here. Just some messages. Okay, so these may or may not resonate with your situation. Yeah, and collective also, part of the message I'm getting here with this Zadkiel is, and especially this Ace of Pentacles, you might be new to a business or young in a business. Don't let that be an obstacle to you succeeding. It's actually an asset, and your tenacity is going to make it work. Okay. So you know what I mean? If you get like a lot of no's from people that are like, well, no, because we've already always done it this way. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't let that get in your way of moving forward. Okay, and so with this pentacle here, this might be an opportunity for you to set out on your own as well. Okay, and to be some kind of, I don't know, independent contractor, self-employed, on your own business, whatever it is. All right. It's kind of like how you have this fresh face, right? So people, don't expect much out of you, right? And you're like, well, actually, but don't go running around. You've seen those memes, right? Be a kind person, be a good person, but don't go running around proving it, especially casting your pearls before swine for people that don't give a fuck about you. All right. That's kind of, I was ranting about Facebook earlier. It's like, yeah, there's some diseases where people be like, and it's just, they get a lot of support out there. Mm-hmm. And then some people post things and it's like, yeah. Okay. So collective, you understand your challenges. They didn't. Now it's their turn to cry about it, right? Whereas you might be where you're all cried out. Okay. And that's why you have this Ten of Pentacles here. You already did the work. Sharon Stone. Okay, to be great. Did she not win an Oscar? Okay. So again, doesn't she have lots of money, right? And live in a nice house? Okay. Ten of Pentacles energy, right? It says study here as well on Melchizedek. So, and the law of attraction. So collective, whatever it is you're working on, especially if it's an artistic project, I feel like it's gonna, bring you those returns that you've been looking for, that return on your investment. Okay. The more you study into the topic, the more knowledgeable you're going to be. Right? Okay. And a lot of people look at, these movie stars and whatever, and they be like, oh, well, they don't have to worry about anything. Well, if you read some of these stories, right? I mean, first off, they're lucky to even be living, right? And make it through the bullying and the criticism of appearance and talent and all these other things, right? Among the high cost of living, right? Anyway. Yeah. Crew. Yeah, you might be, along some water as well, collective, kind of taking it in, right? Or you could be changing the crew that you're with, right? So again, that life changes, right? What is that show, Entourage? It's like, you know, it's one thing to like hang out with your bros maybe on the weekend or a weeknight or something, but like, are you trying to roll over and look at them in the morning? Like, okay, so, hey, maybe if they need a place to rent later on, you can get that can be part of your business. But you know what I'm saying? Like, again, think about who you're supporting here, collective, and why, and what are they getting out of it, right? Again, beware the hobosexuals, right? Because some of these folks, when you leave their life, right, they start scrambling. And eventually they're going to have to go back to the rock that they crawled out from. And some of them are having a good long think about that, to be honest. And some of them could have been doing okay, but people get greedy sometimes, right? So again, that might be a death and rebirth for you too, collective, where it's just like, a little bit too greedy for me. I'm just gonna call it, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it anymore, right? I'm not out here saving no motherfucking souls, right? If they don't like the TNA in the whatever size, okay, go find yourself a different TNA to motherfucking look at. Don't be hollering at me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? When people can't treat things nicely, it's like, well, what do you expect happens? Go your own way. Okay, again. And this could be family as well. You know what I mean? Just because so and so in the family does this doesn't mean, or maybe family business. That gets tricky sometimes too. All right. Okay. Yeah, this card here. Again, collective, I feel like you're very skilled at making the ordinary, making exceptional things look ordinary, or making very skilled things look ordinary and easy, right? And you come off having this cool demeanor here. And again, that's why you're being granted this abundance that goes with it, right? But again, the perception of you is different out there, right? And again, this could just because so and so doesn't know your name. Well, good for so and so. Who cares, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna plan your whole career around so and so? Haven't you ever seen those movies, right? They get the dream job and then they realize working with so and so is a real pain in the ass. Okay. So again, that of being self-employed, self-disciplined, collective. And also you might have a home-based business with this. Okay. So definitely keep at that. I feel like, you're being guided to. Okay. So, okay. You got the stand and standard card here. So, collective, you being the standard is causing other people worries because they feel like they're not measuring up. But, that's just it. When you start comparing yourself to other people where you don't need to be, it's like, am I going to get really upset about that, my butterfly time isn't the same as Michael Phelps? Like, really? What sense does that make? Okay, but see, a lot of people are seeing as a standard to compare themselves by, so it's like upsetting them. for whatever reason. Okay. But since you have Archangel Michael here, I feel like it's just like you're being encouraged to stand your ground and be like, no, I'm not, like, okay. Like, for example, 1 year when I was working my corporate job and my bonus check that year, we didn't always get a bonus check every year. It was very discretionary. But this year in particular, I got enough that I wanted to buy a nice new like flat screen TV, and I had a like specific picked out that has like the blackest blacks and I mean it was like a little extra, you know what I mean? Because it's bonus, like it's supposed to be fun, right? And I'm standing there, we're like at Best Buy or something like that, and I'm gonna be spending probably, I think this thing cost like at the time like $2,000 or something crazy, right? And I was just standing there, like being helped as a customer, right? And then some other people come through, and the guy I was dating at the time was like, "Oh, move out of the way," like, and I was like, why do I have to move anyway? You know what I mean? Like as if I'm in the way of their purchase. All of a sudden, I was not. You know what I mean, collective? It's like people are starting to realize that they can move around you too, because you're not going anywhere. You already got your Ten of Pentacles. You already dug in. You've already proven what you are not running around proving anymore. And it's up to other folks to catch up, right? Get with the program, or see ya, right? Same as those folks that want to come on other people's YouTube channels, raising Cain in the comments about this and that and the other. It's like, go start your own fucking channel if you're that passionate about it. Somebody will join you, I'm sure. Right? Oh, shoot. Anyway. So, yeah, collective, some of this could be as a result of the new moon, where your manifestations are coming in because this is just how you're living your life. This is just how you operate, right? And other people are seeing it and they're like shook because they're like, oh, they're realizing they squandered time. They're realizing they wasted efforts. They're realizing they messed up when they met you and judged you as, a greenhorn, or somebody too naive to know due to because you're new on the block, or because you just moved here, or because you didn't grow up and go to kindergarten with so and so in whatever county and give me a fucking break. Everybody is tired of that shit. Even the people that fucking do that shit claim to be tired of it, so fucking get tired of it already, people. We're fucking waiting on you. We're fucking waiting on you. Huh? Some people know how to get along in polite society. They don't go out starting shit with folks. Right? Because it's always that motherfucker that nobody fucking expects. And then they start shit with them, and then guess what fucking happens? Right? I'd say maybe if they're lucky, they'll come out unscathed, right, collective? And maybe you won't have to lift a finger at all. Because maybe when they come and swing at you, they're going to step in a big fucking hole and trip and fuck up their knee. Right? Oh, help me, call the ambulance. Fuck you, bitch. Call your damn self from your little prepaid phone. They really need to start making Uber gift cards, don't you think? I'm sure tired of driving pieces of shit around myself that don't fucking appreciate it. But, everybody learns at their own pace, right, collective? I'm just saying, But anyway, I think that's about all I have for you guys today. So yeah, a little weird out there with the energy. But what you have coming is just gonna keep propelling you forward. Okay? And as you go on, these other folks are just gonna become like a side story. Right? It's, when I used to work in my corporate job, one of the places downtown, the guy I work with thinks he's like, oh yeah, it's like the young and the restless, right? And that's what all some of this is. I mean, for real. Okay? And your job is to not get dragged into it. Why? Because yeah, we already done did that. Right? You ever have somebody be like, oh, have you done this? Have you done it? And it's like, yeah, I've done it. Again, going back to you don't have to prove shit. And so what if you hadn't? What, every single person out there supposed to have done every single fucking job on the planet? I don't think so. That's why God made us different. Hello? Some of these motherfuckers, this is goddamn rocket science, okay? But some people, it's pretty fucking simple. Choose what side you want to be on. If you don't fancy yourself a fucking simpleton, right? Then you already know. You don't need me to be here telling you nothing, do you? Mm-hmm. Somebody says we're all dogs in God's hot car. Lord have mercy. Well, we got windows, so roll down the windows there. Dog lover, right? I personally like to keep the air conditioner running. You know, especially in the summertime because it just gets too hot. Otherwise, when you come back out to the car and it's like so steamy. Put like your groceries in or whatever. But I had my groceries delivered this morning, so that was very nice. I was very happy about that. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Kind of a wonky message, I know, but do try to be kind of others in chat. If you're in the chat today, give it a like. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, but your subscription is appreciated and helps pass those messages around to those that need them and can benefit from them. So a little good juju goes a long way, don't you think? Don't you think? And remember, collective, that's part of why some people are coming after you, because they see you got it, right? They see that light, that glow. Okay? That's why they call it a glow up, right? They want to be in your crew, right? Some will be off thinking, what can I do to be in that crew, right? So again, you got, just be careful, I'm not saying whatever, right? I'm not saying you gotta live your life in isolation. I'm just saying, just keep the smarts that already got you on this Ten of Pentacles kick to begin with, right? So, let's see here. All right. All right. Nighty night.